Welcome to Make It Now with Linda Lang. We are going to make these really cute little gingerbread houses that go on the side of a cup. Now, you can always buy the cutouts, which I've used. I use them over and over again. But because it's Make It Now and you have to wait to get these in the mail, we're going to make the pattern. So I've actually made them right here. So you have a house, you have the front and the back, you have a side, and you have a roof. So to make this, okay, you're going to make one of these and you're going to cut two out on your dough. But it's going to be measured 1 inch by 2 1/8. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll take a piece of paper, fold it in half, just wherever you want to fold it. Make sure that it's a straight fold, of course, and it's going to depend on the bottom. So you want to make sure that the bottom is straight against that fold. Make sure it's just completely straight. Okay, it is. Now you're going to take this piece and go out 1 inch. Make a mark. Okay, and then you're going to go up 2 inches and 1/8. Yep, 2 inches and 1/8. So I'm just gonna cut it out. Up I go and across. The side is 1 inch by 1.5 inches. So it's 1 inch this way, 1.5 inches this way. You want to make sure that your pitch goes against the side. So I'm just going to use it, go like that. Now I have my little house, front and back. The center, all you simply do is, I think it's like even 1/8 inch. You cut up and across. So this is the part that sits on the cup. So there's that. That's the front and the back. And then you take another piece of paper. You don't have to fold it in half. And you measure this onto the side. You want to make sure that, first of all, this is 1 inch this way, but the height you want to match up to the front of the house. So this is where you put a little line here and I cut it across. I want to make sure that it's completely a square. So now I measured against here and it's going to be perfect, but I'm going to cut this a little bit to make it straight. So you make a nice square. There's that. And then the last piece you're going to make is the roof. Okay, for the roof, you want to make sure that this piece right here is the same width of your roof. And you want to make it as long as your side. So I'm going to just put my paper down like this. Mark it. That's the side of my roof. Then I'm going to take my side and go how long it is. It's to here. Okay, so I'm going to cut out this square of my roof. I know it's getting a little confusing. Sometimes it's easier just to buy the pattern. It really is. Okay, and so the roof's going to go like this on both sides, like that. And it can overlap because you like a little bit of a hanging, can make it look cute. And then if this goes here like this, it's going to hang over a little bit, but it's going to be perfect. So there's your pattern. Now you can eyeball it and you can just cut one out to your desire. And so now you've made your pattern. Again, you can buy it. It's a little, I don't even know, it's called Place and Time Holiday Decorating. Mini Mug Hugger Cookie Cutter. Okay, that would be the way to go. But you can make your own. The next thing we're going to do is put it on a piece of cardboard, because you're going to use it to cut around onto your dough, and you don't want to have it paper because you'll probably cut into the paper. So let's just get a little piece of cardboard, and I'm using a, I guess it's a popcorn box. So I save my boxes, and now I just draw the design right onto it. Like that. This one. Now I'm going to put it right next to it because see, I can just do straight across. You can use a ruler if you want. And then this one, I can do straight across as well, but I'm going to make it wider for the roof. So you can actually do your pattern just like this. And now we cut it out. This is where an X-Acto knife might help, but I just did it like that. Okay. Get this out. All right. I just made my pattern ready to go to put on my cookie dough. We're going to make the dough. The first thing you want to do is get all your ingredients out. We're going to use shortening, brown sugar, eggs, corn syrup, cinnamon, ginger, flour, and baking soda. Okay, so that's what we're going to do to make the gingerbread house. You can use any gingerbread recipe if you'd like. That's fine. So what I did was I pre-measured some things. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is 1 cup shortening, and this is actually already in here, okay? So I'm going to put everything in here. Hopefully it's going to work. Okay, 1 cup shortening. I already got it measured out. 1 cup brown sugar. Not too packed, but packed. And I got these eggs. They're eggs from my neighbor's chickens. Oh, I love it. Okay, and so I got 2 eggs. 2 eggs. I don't want any shells in there. I hate shells in my food. 2 eggs. And then 1 cup of corn syrup. Okay, so 1 tablespoon cinnamon. And 1 tablespoon ginger. Ooh, because it's gingerbread house. And 5½ cups of flour and 1½ teaspoons of baking soda. So I have my baking soda in this container so I can get to these here. All right, so now we start mixing. We'll see how this mixes. I probably should have done all the liquids first, but hey, I'm not a good cook. Do what you want. You can mix it however you want. Okay, this is what my dough looks like now. I've got 3 little balls, and I'm going to put them in the refrigerator overnight. I'll be back. Now we are ready to cut out our little houses. So I let this sit, not overnight because I think it gets too hard. So I let it sit for a couple of hours in the refrigerator, and then I let it sit out for about 20 minutes so that's easy to ply. So I'm just going to take a batch and I'm going to roll it out. Put a little flour on it and roll these out. Should be nice and firm. You want to make it about a 1/4 inch thick, not too thick and not too thin because it will rise. So then you take your little pattern and then you point your knife like an X-Acto knife and cut that out. Okay, so there's this piece. And I'm going to make sure that this part comes out. I don't want that on there. I don't want that cooking in there. So make sure that that comes out. Okay, so there's this little piece like that. Then I need to make 2 of those. You need to make 2 of those because it's the front and the back. And then pick this up, take the little house part out, the doorway out, and now we're ready to make the sides. One. And 2. Just kind of shape them with your finger if they get out of whack a little bit. And then the roof, 2 of these. Okay, that's all you do. You make 2 of those, 2 of those, and 2 of those. Okay, now we are ready to make one little house. Now to make the icing. The icing recipe I use only has 3 ingredients. There are all kinds of icing, buttercream icing and such, but I use an icing that's gonna stiffen. It still tastes good, but it hardens because we need that to hold the houses together. Some people use the corn syrup type of icing, which is good. It works. I love it. It tastes great, but you don't have to use this. What I use is this meringue powder. This little container will last a long time because you only use a few tablespoons. I've had this for 2 years now, so I keep using it. And we're going to use it today. So all you need to do is have 4 cups of powdered sugar, which I have right here. It looks like a lot, but it melts right on down just like snow. 4 cups of that. We need 5 tablespoons of warm water. So I already have it in this container here. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tablespoons of warm water. 3 tablespoons of this powder. 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. And then mix it. That's it. That's all there is to it, making this icing. You can add color if you want. I like to keep it white because I'm going to be putting them on my houses, and I like it to be white for the white snow effect. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. If I have to add more water to make it more creamy, then do so. See, it's getting a little chunky, so it means I need to add a little bit more water. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. All right. Now that's all there is to making the icing. Now let's put it in our piping bag. And this is a piping bag. You can get you can get like 100 of these for $7 on Amazon. Or you can go to your local store. You can go to the dollar store. I think they have them there. I'm going to just open this up. The easiest way to do it is to fold over the top and stick it in a cup. You put the edge around the outside of the cup. Okay, now I just pour all my icing in here. So if I make a mess on the edge, it's going to be inside. I'm still working on houses, so I'm just going to keep it all white. And then I take this and lift it up. Everything stays on the inside. Woo, like that. And push this down a little bit. And then you want to make sure nothing comes out the top, because what's the worst thing that can happen is you start squeezing and everything globs out, which I've had happen many times. So you want to make sure you twist it a bunch of times and use some kind of a fastener that holds it tight, like that. Okay. I like to make my houses just a little thicker on this stuff. See how thick that is? I want to open it up pretty big, so I'm going to cut up, I don't know, 1/8 off. So I have this nice big hole on the bottom now. All right, so I put this one together and I forgot to tape it. All right, so let me put this aside, let this one dry. I'm going to do another one. Show you how it works. Okay. Got the front and the back. I got the roof pieces, and I got the side pieces. I know the side pieces because they're smaller. Let's see, let's use this one. Okay, they almost look alike, but that's okay, they'll work. All right, so you see how this one's setting? I'm gonna let it sit for a while. So what you do, you take one of your cookies and you set it this way. Let me go down with the camera a little bit. Okay. You make the house face down. You take your, I'm gonna cut a little bit more off because it just was coming out too slow. You want it to really come out thick like that, because it's the glue of the house. Okay, and you do it on the other side. And I go down twice, maybe even 3 times, depending on how big my hole is. Okay, so you've got this on this side. Now you take your sides, whatever your sides are, and you put it like this, and you put another side on the other side. And you make sure that the fluffy part, the outside cookie, not the bottom, is on the inside. You want that pretty part to be on the outside. Now it might take a second to hold it up, and like I wanted to do before, is I use a glass or something to just set it next to it. Oh, it's standing up. It's standing up. If you want to hold it for just a couple seconds, it'll stand up all by itself. This stuff is pretty good. So now I want to put a little more on this one, because I'm going to put the front of the house on it. Okay, and I take this and I set it on the front, just like that. And if it wants to lean, like this is trying to lean in, you fix it and you just, work with it. Like that. And so I'll take this glass and put it against here so it'll stand up. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Let me see. Turn it around here. This is ready to stand up. Look, you can stand it up now. You let that dry and you can stand it right up. It takes about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. Here's my roof. All right? These are my roof pieces. So you take icing and you put it on the top. Like that. And then the same thing on this side. And we take our rooftop and just put it right on top like that. Just like that. Okay, now we want to decorate it a little bit. I put icing on the top, kind of like this. You can do any design you want. You can add gumdrops to it, but I just like to put dots on mine, because I don't want to give it any more stress than it needs on there. You can do M&Ms. Like I said, this icing is strong. Okay, now I'm going to decorate the front of the little house. So now we're facing this little house. So I'm going to trim the door like that. You can also put a window like that. And then the best part I love about doing it is making the icicles. Okay, this is fun. The icicles, you just do this. You go like this and drop. Squeeze and drop. Squeeze and drop. Squeeze and drop. Just like that. You notice the difference in the size is just a teeny bit. This is the house we made with our cutout. This one. This one is the house I made with the mold, when you just the cookie cutter and you make that. They're not that much different. Okay, I have a cup. See, you put the house right on the side of the cup. Make it now with Linda Lang.